So if you are looking to fill out a stormwater control measures certification in Viewpoint for the town of Franklin, one of the quickest ways to get there is from our town website, franklinma.gov. And you would just go to the search bar, type in Viewpoint, hit search, and go to the very first result, which is Viewpoint permitting. And once that loads up, you're in our licensing center. And you would look for the Department of Public Works section. Click on that, and that will bring you a list of all our available permits, licenses, certifications, including the Stormwater Control Measures certification that you are looking to fill out with me today. This first page that you come to was going to ask you to confirm your contact information. And that's the information that you would have signed up with: your first and last name, email address, and that's what the account's linked to, phone number, address, and that type of information. Once you confirm that that's all correct, you can proceed to the next step. And the next step is picking the location of your stormwater control measure that you are certifying today. And that's important. You may have more than one, and you may have more than one piece of land. You may own more than one parcel, have multiple addresses, that type of thing. So you just want to make sure that you use the right one for the one that you're doing today. I'm going to use the address for our DPW engineering and admin building. You would obviously use your own address. You just want to make sure that the right one pops up. This looks good to me. Okay, and we'll jump right into the specific applicant information for this certification. And that is not necessarily going to be the same as the individual that is applying through their Viewpoint account. Just show you what the options are for applicant type, and this is why it may not be the same. We give you the option of being the property owner, manager, or other. Not sure exactly who else would be applying, but we have the option. Just select other to show you. I guess we could be the landscaper. And enter a phone number. All of the required pieces of information have an asterisk next to the title of the box. If you do not fill those out, you cannot proceed to the next step, and that applies the whole way through the application. So you can see, enter in the information. You could also, if you pick different ones, different options come up. All right, in our next section, we're going to go over inspection and maintenance information. And this would be the information that you collected or are collecting during your inspection of the actual stormwater control measure. So today, for example, we're going to pick a rain garden. And you're able to select your date right off a calendar. I say we inspected that earlier this week. You would enter the inspector's name or potentially like a position within the company that did the inspection. And just the location on the property where your stormwater control measure is located. Weather, we're looking for whether it was clear or whether it was rainy. And you want to put the date of the most recent maintenance. So we'll say that that was earlier this week as well. And previously, we're going to say that we did some work on this one in the springtime. And that it is maintained by the DPW. or whoever maintains it. And what type of maintenance did we do on our most recent maintenance? We did a little mowing and weeding, debris removal, and looks like we checked everything. Once you check off everything that you need to, you can move on to the next section. We also have some examples here of recommended maintenance procedures and frequency. All right, I'm just going to ask you specifically about the condition, what your findings were when you assessed the condition. Just want to go through and you want to answer honestly, obviously, what the assessment of the site was. I'm just going through and I'm selecting some options here. For example, obviously your answers will differ. All right, so the next few pages are just quick condition assessments, and it is specific to different facets of that inspection. And you can select all that apply. And if there's anything else that was inspected that's not on this list, please feel free to use the other box and briefly explain what else might have been inspected. We're going to say that it was in good condition, but we did see some excess vegetation, for example. Next up is our sediment depth, which you would measure in inches, and then you could report here, for example, 1 inch, and move right on to the next section. If you have a pretreatment system, you can specify what type of pretreatment system you do have. If you do not, you just enter NA or not applicable and move right on. The inlet condition, pretty straightforward. Just check all that apply as in the previous sections. And same with the outlet and the outlet control structure. You're just going through and you're reporting your findings. Loading control. And deposits. We have vegetation. And also you want to be sure to, if you do have vegetation in your control measure, you want to just check off whether it's healthy or unhealthy, in addition to selecting any of the other options that apply. Over here you can see questions pertaining to erosion. So we check any areas that you observed erosion or any types of erosion that might apply. Just say there was some displaced riprap, for example. And right here, if there's anything else that you would want the folks receiving this application for certification to consider or to be aware of, you can leave a note right here in the additional comments section. And looping back to what I mentioned at the very beginning, if you do have additional stormwater controls on this property, you just fill out a separate assessment for each one. You just submit a separate application. But as you can see, it's a very quick application for the certification. Just takes a few minutes. You just put the number that you have. Let's say you have 2, 3, or if you do just have the 1. And we'd also like you to include a photo, at least 2 photos of your stormwater control measure from 2 different perspectives. So whatever perspectives make sense in your specific situation, If you feel the need to include more than two, you can do that right here by adding an attachment. But I'll show you real quick the process to upload a photo. And you would upload them there. If you want to add another, you just write a brief description, if you'd like, of what that additional attachment is. And then once those are all uploaded, you can move on to the next section. It's just confirming your submission. This gives you a chance to look over anything that might be missing or any questions you might have answered wrong. This gives you a chance to correct all that. Just give it a quick flip through, make sure it's all right. And as soon as you're happy with your form, you scroll down to the bottom, confirm and submit.